welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Courtney and I am so excited that you are here today. Today we have a first impressions of the new Huda Beauty Easy Blur Natural Airbrush Foundation. I picked this up in the shade 220 in Custard. And so that's what we're going to be trying today. I'm super excited about this product. I typically enjoy Huda's products, and when I saw this was launching, I love the bottle. It's very reminiscent to me of my favorite Chanel foundation, which is the Chanel Vita Lumiere. And then I love that it is a natural airbrush foundation. So I'm actually going to just pull up on my phone here on the Sephora app the claims of this foundation. So the foundation is $37. Hopefully you can see that. $37. So you get 1 fluid ounce for $37 from Sephora. Again, I got the shade 220 Neutral, which is the shade Custard. That is considered to be, I think it was light skin neutral undertones. Niacinamide is in the product. It says 1.5% niacinamide. No idea if that's a good amount of niacinamide or not. Fragrance-free, medium coverage, natural finish liquid foundation or formula, cruelty-free. It says it's a lightweight, medium to buildable coverage foundation that's non-comedogenic and ultra blurring for an airbrushed finish. 1.5% niacinamide smooths and refines the look of uneven texture and tone. Silica is pore blurring, results in a natural airbrush finish, vegan, cruelty-free. It will provide the most natural airbrush finish. It's comfortable on the skin, blendable and easy to apply. It's available in a range of shades with a seamless filtered finish. I think there was like 30 shades in this foundation. I did not pick up the primer, but the primer is the Easy Blur Primer from Sephora. $29 for a fluid ounce, and it claims to be blurring and silicone free. Best for dry combo normal skin, so I think that hits everybody except for oily. Fragrance free, good for pores, matte finish without silicones. I didn't pick that up. I don't typically use a primer. I have a ton of primers that I've never used in my drawer that I need to finish first, so yeah. Lots of incentivized reviews on the Sephora website, so be sure if you don't want to see incentivized reviews to filter those out so you can see a true take on the reviews. And let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and jump right in. This does say it's medium coverage. From what I've seen online, it appears to be pretty full coverage. On my skin now, I just have my normal skincare. I'll list it down below for you in the description box, but Zeo Skin Health Complexion Renewal Pads. I have a vitamin C on, my Dermalogica moisturizer, and then my Caudalie Grape Water Spray, and that is all I have on my skin right now. Little tiny squeezy tube with this little lovely applicator here. And let me grab my brushes. If you aren't familiar with BK Beauty, they make this really cute brush case, and this I keep my daily brushes in and just fold it down and grab what I need. We're gonna go in with, oh gosh, I don't have one in here. Courtney. Going to go in with, we'll use a BK 113 today for the foundation to blend the foundation out. I'm just gonna kind of draw this onto my face. It's probably not the most hygienic to do this, so you know, don't do it if you're worried about that. But I like to do that with any of my squeezy tubes. Let me zoom you in here. I'm gonna cut off the top bit of my face, but I'll be able to get close. There we go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start to paddle brush this on to my face. And let me grab my mirror. Okay, I have my mirror now. Oh, I have a giant hair. You know what I'm actually gonna do? This is not a brush I usually use, so I'm gonna just go ahead and use my hands. I don't normally do this. I prefer not to do this, honestly, but this brush is not what I usually use, and it's getting a little streaky. So we'll just use our fingers to apply to start. That's pretty good. To me, this looks like pretty full coverage. Not necessarily medium. It feels very like liquidy and watery in a good way. Like it feels moisturizing and nourishing on the skin. Over this with a brush, but I probably applied a little bit too much product here because it is spreading very far. Again, feels really moisturizing on my skin. The shade is a really good match, I think. This side is drying down a little bit where I took the brush on first. It does dry down where it's not as tacky as like on this side. Again, I probably used too much. This is first impressions for me. But I'm liking how it's looking on my skin. It's not really looking cakey or thick necessarily. It has a nice like natural glow to it, so it definitely has that natural finish in my opinion. Okay, I think that is all blended. I'll need to go wash my hands here in a few minutes. I'm gonna take this brush, this 113 that I was using, and kind of take off some of the product on the top of my hand, and then just kind of like press in. Around my face. Take it down my neck a little bit, just to make sure everything blends well. Really pretty coverage. Let me zoom you in. It feels really nice on the skin. It feels like not heavy. It feels like I applied moisturizer, a thicker moisturizer maybe, but let me just zoom you in a little bit more. I have natural light coming in from the left side of my face, and then I have a small light in front of me just to kind of balance things out. I haven't had Botox in several months. So you can see all my fine lines. Again, you can see that there's a nice like natural glow, not a glowy foundation at all. Slightly more glow to this than the Chanel Vita Lumiere in my opinion, which is my like one of my holy grail foundations. But like, if I can get you any closer. There it is around the nose. Ooh. All right, let's finish up the face. Feeling really nice. Again, I like the finish of this. Shade match is really good. Doesn't feel too heavy, cakey. I would say it's not medium coverage and more full, but that I feel like is up for interpretation depending on who you are and what you like. So, I mean, for me, this is pretty full coverage. For some, this might be medium. I'm gonna use the Danessa Myricks concealer. I haven't used it yet. The Yummy Skin Lift and Flex Concealer in the shade 4 Neutral. If I can get it out of the package, there we go. So here's what the little package looks like. Yummy Skin Concealer. I'm gonna use just a tiny bit here because we already have quite a bit of base product on. It's a very interesting applicator. The applicator is like, I don't know if you can see that, but it's almost like got a little like, it looks like a little foot. I don't know how to describe it, but to me it looks like a little foot. Normal places I put concealer. I'm gonna just add a touch more under the eyes. I am 36 years old. I have 2 kids, work full time. I create some of these videos on the side. It's a nice little fun thing for me, get some creative juices flowing. I love makeup, love talking about makeup. I love pretending like I'm a beauty guru. Take a little bit of that concealer onto my eyelid. But that's my age. I have normal to dry skin, just so you know what my skin type is like with this foundation. So normal to dry, not really combo, not really oily. I guess occasionally I can get a little shiny in my T-zone, but I live in Arizona, so I live in a pretty dry climate. I primarily drink water. I don't really drink coffee any longer. I don't really drink any other types of beverages, which I think helps with my skin and my skin texture quite a bit. I have some dark spots or some slight melasma spots like towards the top of my forehead, just so you can kind of know what I like to cover. I typically like to wear a light to medium coverage foundation, which is starkly different than what I used to wear in my 20s when I needed less makeup. But light to medium is typically my go-to. I love a full glam on occasion, but I don't wear a lot of full coverage foundations any longer. Alrighty, so that's the concealer on. It's a pretty nice concealer. I would say it's a light coverage concealer, but we're not really reviewing the concealer today. It says Soft Matte Medium Buildable Serum Hybrid. This is looking pretty light to medium, I guess, for me. I typically will do a light to medium foundation with a heavier, like a medium to full coverage concealer, but that's just my personal preference. But this is all looking really nice, so that's good. Let me throw on the rest of my makeup. I'll let you know what I'm using, but it's nothing new, nothing different. I'm gonna use my Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer in the shade Medium. We are almost done with this bad boy, and this is typically what I like to use my 113 for. So we're gonna go in to my 113 brush from BK Beauty and go around the perimeter of my face here, kind of bring some color back to my face. I planned on making this video a little earlier today, but my son was supposed to be the Pledge of Allegiance leader at his school. And then I went to go work out after that. I say it was supposed to be because I guess there was a mix-up and he was not actually going to do it until next week. And then it got pushed to October because we'll be out of town. Alrighty. Little perimeter on my nose. The at-home nose job with my bronzer. Products seem to be layering on top so far. We've just used creams, but everything's layering on top of this foundation. Totally fine. Nothing is being disrupted by any of the products that I would use like on a normal day-to-day basis. So that's good. I would expect that to be the case, but sometimes you never know. Things can lift or react odd. So that's done. I'm going to throw on my favorite liquid blush, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand Glow Gasm in Pink Gasm. I alternate between Pink Gasm and I think it's like Sunset Pink or Sunset something. So we'll just throw that on there. Going to use, let's see, what are we gonna use? I think I'm missing some of my brushes that I like to use normally. Let's go ahead and use a Morphe by Ariel A 3.2 to kind of blend out this cream blush. Same thing. Nothing is being disrupted. Everything seems to be layering on top of this foundation beautifully. Nothing is caking up. I haven't set anything with powder yet. Nothing caking up around my nose. I'll zoom you in one more time before we set with powder. I do always set with powder. That is just how I prefer to do my makeup. So threw on a little bit of that liquid blush. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set with the Givenchy Prism Lead Old version of the powder in shade 3. We are almost out of this bad boy. And I don't have a backup since they reformulated. So there's that. I'm gonna go in with a, I don't have a brush I would prefer to use here. Let's go in with another Morphe X Aerial brush, the A21 for my powder. And I'm just gonna kind of dust this all over today. I typically will do like a quick baking, but I don't have the brush that I prefer to use. I try not to go anywhere that I may do like a powder bronzer or blush normally, but here we are. I'm gonna go in with another BK Beauty A506, which I used for my concealer, and I'm gonna just take some of the powder on it. So this is a clean one. Take some of the powder on it and then just tap that underneath my eye to just set my under eye concealer, just to stop any creasing there. Or prevent as much creasing as I can. Same thing, everything's layering on top of this really nicely. And I'm gonna go in just down my smile lines, a little bit on my chin, and then in like my nose crease. Kind of dust that away. Putting excess in the lid back into the packaging and then sealing that back up. And then I'm gonna go in with, let's see here. I'm going to go in with my Chantecaille Energy Sunstone Radiant Blush. Shade is Energy, the Sunstone Radiant Blush here. And then going in with an A507 Blush Angled Brush for my powder blush. I just press this over anywhere that I had that liquid, and then take it across the nose as well. I find that that gives a more youthful look, and then up towards the temples, just so everything can kind of blend together there. Beautiful. And then going with my Chantecaille Real Bronze in Serena. Well-loved bronzer. And then going back in with that Morphe X Aerial A21 for my powder bronzer. Going around the perimeter of the face, pressing up into the hairline so that everything works together. Everywhere that I put the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer, I am now just setting with this powder. Down my nose and underneath my bottom lip to give that fuller appearance. Perfect. Alrighty, and then let's go ahead and just throw in a quick shadow. I'm gonna go in with my Dior Backstage Eye Palette in the Smoky Essentials, and I'm gonna go in with just this shimmer taupe shade right here in the center. No, I'm not. I don't have an eye brush. We're gonna skip eyeshadow today. I feel like I literally never do that. Do I have anything in here? No, I do not. All right, I'm gonna go in with my Rare Beauty lip liner in the shade Worthy. I typically don't wipe the foundation off my lips. I find that my lip products stay on a little longer if I just layer on top. It's almost like a gripper. It could be totally in my brain, it probably is. And I'm gonna go in with my Kosas Air Brow and my Thrive mascara to finish up the look. and then I will be right back and we'll give some final thoughts. Alrighty, so finished up my makeup, and this is again first impressions through just a little bit of eyeshadow on with my finger from that Dior palette, and then just threw on a little bit of setting spray. So looking at the foundation, I think it's really, really pretty first impression wise. I will leave a pinned comment or update you in a YouTube short on how this wears for a few hours. But looking at it, I would say as far as claims go, it does blur. I don't have very large pores or a ton of texture to blur on my skin, just being completely transparent. But I do find that it does give like a blurring or a filtered effect. I don't know if the faux filter foundation is going away. That's extremely full coverage from my experience with it, but I would say that this gives you like that filtered effect on your skin. It doesn't feel heavy on your skin. It feels like a moisturizer when you're applying it. Again, I applied probably too much, so if it's buildable, I probably built up to full when I only really prefer a medium coverage. So that would be the one thing I would say is maybe different from the claims, is that I find it to be more full coverage than medium. But again, I think that that is super like your opinion, like one person's medium might be another person's full. So take that piece with a grain of salt. I think it's a well-priced foundation. The Vita Lumiere, I'm gonna keep comparing it because it kind of just gives me those vibes, but like the Vita Lumiere from Chanel, I believe is over $50, where this is $37. So this would be like much more affordable for a lot of people. 1 fluid ounce, I feel like this would last you a really long time. It is made in Italy. It has an 18-month shelf life. And of course, packaging like this lets you know to shake well. Again, I'm in 220 in, which is the shade Custard. It's a light neutral shade. I think I nailed the shade match on this one, so happy about that. This is something that you could pick up as of yesterday in Sephora, and then also Sephora at Kohl's is carrying this from my understanding, or several of the locations are. You might want to double check with your location before you go in, but you can pick it up at Sephora at Kohl's as well. This went live in store and online yesterday, so September 2nd, so you can purchase this now at Sephora whenever your heart desires. It's not limited edition, so no need to rush out and go grab it if you don't need foundation. The package is plastic, which is really nice for traveling or throwing in a bag to take with you, like a gym bag or something like that. But again, it's first impressions. But my first impression is that it's really, really pretty foundation. I don't have any beauty filters on my videos. I actually don't even know how to do that. So, you know, I don't have any filters on in my videos, so you can see what it looks like. Hopefully you can get a good idea. I do have a pretty strict skincare routine, so I think that that's, you know, gonna make a big difference in how foundation lies on you. But normal to dry skin, I don't think you would be disappointed. Again, I'll let you know how it wears, but overall, I think it's a really pretty foundation, and I don't think that you would be disappointed if you went out to go pick it up. Let me know down in the comments below if you picked up this foundation, what your thoughts are, if you've used it yet. And thank you again so much for watching. I'm hoping to have another video again this week, but if not, for sure next week. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye.